then you progressed and you started to become a psychic.
Well, I trained in healing, and I didn't know what to do. Suddenly I was seeing lights around people. Suddenly I was asking all these questions that I didn't have any answers to. And somebody said, well, why didn't you go see my friend who's a healer? And I went and I said to this woman, you know, I see these lights around people. She looked at me like I was a little nuts. And then she said, well, what do they look like? And I said, well, like fireflies. And she said, oh, I see them too. That's lovely. And I began to work first with healers, and then I studied later. And I was volunteering at a place called the Manhattan Center for Living that Marianne Williamson had started. It was sort of the height of the AIDS, you know, crisis. And I would have my hands on people, and I would start to hear things for them. And I began to develop as a physical empath.
What kind of things were you hearing?
I had my hand on your heart, and suddenly I heard Frank. I learned very quickly to say, who's Frank? And they'd say, my father, my brother, my lover.
And usually you were pretty much right on.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, I finally learned to say stuff because at times I wouldn't. I'd think, this is nuts, I can't say anything. I was working on somebody, it was a private client at a, you know, who was a malpractice attorney, and I was thinking, oh my God, the guy's going to fall off my table and sue me, and this is going to be terrible. And the whole time he was on my table, I kept hearing broke back, and I kept thinking, I'm not going to tell this guy he's got a broken back. He doesn't. And he got off the table, and he said, I'm so surprised you didn't mention my broken back.
Wow.
And so I learned that when I wasn't honoring the information, I wasn't supporting the person I was working with.
I think it's also a lesson that we can trust this inner voice, no matter how ridiculous what we're getting. I mean, sometimes it's off, but a lot of times it's like, I don't know why I'm saying this, but this is what's coming to me.
Yeah, the information's not for me. When I'm reading for somebody as a psychic, or when I'm channeling, the information's not for me. So it's not supposed to make sense to me necessarily. If I try to figure it out, I'm going to impede the current of information that's coming through.
Now we know